Hey warriors, how is everybody? So good to have everyone for this Tuesday afternoon class. Apologies for the fact that my land is looking pretty dull at the moment, apart from this one very strange sunspot that I just can't seem to get rid of. But I've had to draw the curtains, draw the blinds, because otherwise there's just shards of light coming in here, there and everywhere. And I actually think I might have just made that worse. It wasn't that bad. What did I do? I think I touched something. I'm going to try that. I'll try that and something else. I'm basically stacking books up on another room, like very precariously up against the window. So it might all come crashing down halfway through our session. But I guess that just only adds to our excitement, hey? Okay, I'll just have to leave that on there. We've got a bit of a sunspot still, but never mind. That will have to do. Before we start, I just want to welcome those of you that haven't come to this session before. I'm going to move over to one side. Really great to have you along. This is the repair, restore and retrain session. So suitable for mums from 6 weeks postnatal, although quite frankly, I've had friends come along to this who have never had babies or whose kids are sort of 10 years old, and they've also found it super useful. Because we're going to start by rebuilding and strengthening through these foundations. We've got those inner core muscles we'll be working on, as well as pelvic floor. Because just like any other muscle, if you don't keep on using these muscles, they are going to get weak. And pelvic floor is one of those as well. Now, a lot of people kind of go, oh, I think I'm fine. I don't have any issues with pelvic floor. And then 10, 20, 30 years down the line, that's when the issues start. So by really working on connecting and reactivating that pelvic floor muscle and getting them nice and strong now, you are going to be future-proofing as much as you can for the future. So before we start, just make sure that you have a mat or something comfy to work on, because we are going to be lying down, and also just having a mat just stops you slipping. If you can, it'd be great if you could be barefoot for this. I always think that barefoot is one of the best ways to train. Make sure you've also got some water. Really important to keep hydrated at the moment. And as well, you've also got a couple of cans. I've got some very cheap chickpeas here, 49p. Who knew they were so cheap? Because we'll be using them as some of our weights for some of the exercises. But we're going to get started. We're going to start with a little bit of focusing on what we're about to do in this future session. We'll start a bit on conditioning through the glutes and through the deep core muscles, and then we're going to take it up into a circuit that's going to be beautifully strengthening. We're going to do a lot of work on opening the chest today and strengthening through that upper back, just to help release this front area, especially if you're breastfeeding or you're sort of feeding your baby constantly. This can cause a lot of issues with tension through the head and through the neck. But first of all, I'd like you to get comfortable. So if you're sitting down, cross-legged is absolutely fine, as is up on your knees. If you need to change halfway through this, then absolutely go for it. If you're sitting cross-legged, please try not to have your ankles crossed over. I'd like us to be able to try and see both ankle bones. If it doesn't feel comfortable like this, because you feel like there's a little bit of pulling or discomfort around the pelvis here, you can prop up your knees with a couple of cushions. This is supposed to be a comfortable position, not an endurance position. Nothing should hurt. So please do not think that you should not have cushions or not be comfortable for this. That's not what we're aiming for. I'm going to invite you to sit up nice and tall. Imagine lengthening up through the crown of the head. We're also just going to make sure that we are pulling our chin in towards our neck, so that we're lengthening up through the back of the body as well. I'm going to invite you now to close your eyes. You can have your hands in your laps, on your knees, wherever you feel most comfortable. We're going to roll the shoulders forwards. We're going to roll those shoulders backwards. Sit up nice and tall, lengthen up through the spine. And we're just going to take some deep breaths in and out through your nose. Have a think about what's going on with your body. just do a little body scan from head to toe. Are you carrying any kind of tension through the eyes, through the mouth, especially around the jaw, through the shoulders? Just be conscious of where you're carrying any tightness. Also, when you're breathing, just have a think about your posture as well. Do you think you have a tendency to lean back when you're sitting up? Do you have a tendency to lean forwards? Try, if you can, to come up nice and tall. Think about sitting up as straight as you can, as vertically as you can. Also think about relaxing the muscles through the legs. Try and increase the fullness of your breath now. So trying to get as much air into your body as you can. And try and get out as much air from your lungs as you can. As you're doing this, trying to inhale as much air as possible. Have a think about what's going on with your body. As you breathe in, is it your shoulders that are moving? Or is it through the upper part of the chest? Or down by the lower portion of the ribs? Or is it through the belly? Or is it a bunch of those? And also when you breathe out, think about what's happening. Be especially aware if you're holding your breath. I'm now going to ask you to breathe in deeply in towards your belly. So as you breathe in towards your belly, I'd like you to fill that one up first. So it's going to draw out to the front and to the sides. And it's only once you've reached your full capacity there that you're going to start to take the breath in through those lungs as well. So now your lower lungs, the lower part of the rib cage is now going to start moving. As you breathe out, imagine you're rolling up a tube of toothpaste. You're trying to draw in those lower abdominals first. You're gently squeezing through the belly before you then start closing through the bottom part of your ribs, squeezing out as much air from your lungs as you can. As you inhale, breathe into the belly. You're softening up through it to the front and to the sides. You're filling up from the lungs, from the front, the sides, and also the back. Don't forget to fill up through the back of the lungs as well. And as you breathe out, gently gather in the lower abdominals first. You're rolling up a tube of toothpaste. Take things nice and slowly, with control. I'm going to start to get some timings with this as well. You're going to breathe in for a count of 3 and breathe out for a count of 6. If that feels too easy or you can do it very comfortably, you're now going to breathe in for 4 and breathe out for 8. So have a bit of an experiment with this. See what works best for you. You want to find a number that you find challenging, but that doesn't upset your technique. So you're breathing out for twice as long as you breathe in. Use the metronome as your count. Keep that breath nice and steady. Try to avoid holding any tension around the face or around the jaw. Keep those shoulders loose and relaxed. If you feel like you're getting the hang of this, every single time that you breathe out, I'm also going to ask you to gently gather in your pelvic floor, squeezing from back to front, from side to side, and then lifting up through the spine. So you're just going to keep that gentle activation of the pelvic floor for the length of your exhale. If you feel like this is too easy, take it up to breathe in for 5 and breathe out for 10. What we're always looking to do is to improve. So either improving the quantity or the quality. And make sure you're not holding your breath at any time either. At the end of your next exhale, just going to open up your eyes. Sit up nice and tall. Let's drop this chin towards our chest. And we're going to start to roll our head from side to side, feeling a loosening and a release of tension around the back of our neck. So you often hold a lot of tightness around this area. We now just want to give it permission to relax and loosen up. Do deep rolls, taking it from one ear to the shoulder to the other ear and the shoulder. Good. Come back up to the center, and we're just going to take left arm all the way up above our head. We're going to stretch up as much as we can, trying to get as much length up through this arm, adding an extra couple of inches to our height before we take that right elbow into the right thigh, and we're going to stretch all the way over. Use that right elbow and the thigh to give you leverage, to help keep you stretching up through your frame. At the same time, push down with that left bum cheek. So it's a two-way stretch. You're stretching through this way with the fingers, and you're stretching down through that left bum cheek. Use the elbow in there as well, just to help open up through the chest and to keep you nice and open. I'm going to try and avoid any kind of twisting motion. Good, reach all the way up, stretch, 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 and take a deep breath in. And let's swap over hands. So the other hand comes all the way up, stretching up as much as we can take it. Try and grow an extra couple of inches. This left elbow comes down in towards that thigh, and we stretch all the way over. Good, keep stretching, keep stretching, keep stretching. Don't forget to lengthen through the body at the same time. Good, you want to try to avoid crunching down into our spine. Good, feel that stretch. Take a deep breath in. And from here, we're going to interlace the hands. We're going to take them out in front of us. We're going to curve through that back. The chin drops down to our chests. And we stretch out through the upper back. Good, uncurl. Let's take the hands behind our back. We're going to press through the chest, sitting up nice and tall, stretching through those shoulders, trying to draw those shoulders away from our chin, giving ourselves some space. Good, hold this here for a second. And let's release all the way down. Shake everything out. Ooh. Good work. I'm going to do a little bit of a side twist now. A side rotation. Left hand is going to come down onto the knee. The right hand is going to come behind us. Now this isn't a twist about how far you can go. We're not talking exorcist here. We're just looking to give our spine a little bit of a stretch. But first of all, we need to come up nice and tall. Let's tuck this chin in slightly to lengthen up through the back of the neck. And you're gently going to take your gaze behind you. So try not to force anything. This is also a really good opportunity to have a think about how this area is feeling, especially if you've had a C-section. So if you notice any pulling or discomfort around your scar, then that's definitely a sign that you would benefit from potentially some soft tissue massage. Let's take the right hand over into the left knee. We're going to place those fingers behind us. We're going to sit up nice and tall, stretching up through the crown of the head. And we're going to take a gentle look behind us. Good. Breathe into this, try not to hold your breath. And let's come back to the center. From here, stretch your feet out in front of you. And we can have our hands behind us to make sure we're not sinking into this. Always think about posture and think about sitting up nice and tall. And from here, let's circle through these feet. Big circles, as wide as we can take them. And take them first one way. And now the other way. Don't forget, keep sitting up nice and tall. Good. For those of you that done ballet, we're now going to do good toes, bad toes. So from here, we've got our good toes. Point, point, point. Squeeze all the way through those toes. And very gently, we're going to cut all the way up and spread our toes as wide as we can. Let's take them all the way down now. That's it. Rolling through those bones. Take them all the way back up. Good. So you're shortening through the leg here in a way. And we're lengthening through that top part of the leg. And we're going to shorten now through this top part. Good. And point. Great stuff. From here, you can point the fingers forward so they can be behind you, whatever feels most comfortable. We're going to plant our feet nice and securely into the ground. Slight bend through the arms. And we're going to take the bum up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze through the bum. And you're just going to drop the head. Good. Just keep squeezing through the bum here. Hold this here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down nice and gently. Right, I'm coming back onto my mat now. From here, cat-cows. So shoulders stacked over wrists, bum stacked over our knees. We're going to take a little glance up in front of us. And as we breathe out, we're going to drop our chin in towards our chest. We're going to curl our back up towards the ceiling. We're going to draw our spine, our belly button into our spine. And then the next time we breathe in, we're going to come back into a neutral back position. And we're gently going to take our gaze up towards the ceiling. So try not to scrunch all the way through the back like this. It's not a competition to see how far we can get our belly button to the ground. You always want to keep a little bit of activation. Right, let's go. So we're tucking that chin in towards the chest. We're rolling up through the back, stretching out. Push the ground away from your hands. Draw that belly button in towards your spine. And as you release, come all the way down. You're going to take your gaze in front of you and towards the ceiling. As we breathe out, we're going to do the same thing again. Coming all the way up nice and slow. Breathe out. We're going to gather the belly button in towards the spine. We're doing this properly. You should really feel those deep stomach muscles activating. Good. Now for the next couple of them, every single time we breathe out and we come into our cat, we're going to activate our pelvic floor, gathering it in from back to front. So start gathering in, breathing out, and we're just going to squeeze, 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 a nice strong squeeze through that pelvic floor, through the belly button towards the spine. Good, and release as we breathe in. Good. Gathering the pelvic floor, coming into our cow, into our cat. Gathering in the pelvic floor, drawing that back up towards the ceiling, squeezing the pelvic floor back to front, side to side, and up. Good. Release. Take a deep breath in And we're going to breathe out now. Nice and strong pelvic floor activation. Breathing out, holding that pelvic floor contraction for the length of your exhale. And let's breathe in. We've got one more. We're going to breathe out, gathering the pelvic floor. We're going to heighten the contraction now. Keep squeezing, squeezing, squeezing all the way in. Good. Deep breath in, and all the way back down to neutral position. Now this time, as we come back up into our cow, into our cat, we're just going to squeeze, and I want us to do some little pulses. So you're going to pulse, pulse. Don't do the hand thing that I'm doing. You're just going to pulse, 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 pulse. Good, let's go. Squeeze, squeeze and relax, squeeze and relax. Let's go. We've got 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's speed it up now. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a deep breath in. And we're going to breathe out. One last one. We're going to gather the pelvic floor in from back to front. We're going to hold this here. We're going to continue to breathe, and we're also going to start to activate our pelvic floor just at 50% of effort. So have a think about how this feels. It often feels like we might be contracting our pelvic floor, and then we go to check and we realise that we haven't. We just keep going to check. You shouldn't be able to see yourself contracting your pelvic floor. Good, make sure you're breathing. I'm just going to hold this now for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Come back into a neutral position. From here, keeping your back nice and straight. Just want us to circle through those shoulders. Good. So we're trying to get as much motion through these shoulder joints as you can. So imagine those arms are staying where they are in the ground, and it's the rest of your body that's moving through the joint. It's kind of a freaky suggestion, right? Okay, and the other way. We're trying to increase our shoulder mobility. Our shoulders get so tight. Good, squeezing all the way through. Good. Trying to keep those arms where they are and just moving through that body. Good. Last one. Kind of look quite creepy, can't it? Good. And from here, let's take it into a little child's pose. Stretch everything out. Head comes down towards the ground. I'm just going to walk our fingers out in front of us, stretching through those shoulders. At the same time, we also want to try and get our bum down towards our heel. Good. Imagine pulling those shoulder blades back and down, feeling the resistance against your fingers on the mat. Really nice. And all the way up nice and gently. Give everything a bit of a wriggle. Let's just circle through these wrists as well. Shake them off, shake them off, shake them off. And we're going to come onto our back. I really hate this bit of a light. Every single time. So from here, oh, my boobs now. I've got special magical boobs. Right, so from our back, we are going to have our feet just hip width apart. We're going to be able to brush the backs of our ankles with the tips of our fingers. So if they're too far away from you, just try and bring them in a little bit more. And we're going to tilt our pelvis back and forward. So imagine if you've got one hand, one finger on the front of your pelvis and the other one just in the fleshy part of your bum. You should be able to feel it tipping backwards and forwards. Good. So as you tip it forwards, you'll notice that you get a bit of a gap between your lower back, and as you tip it back, you'll also notice that the gap closes up a little bit. So this is very important because we are going to be practicing some of this in a second. Okay, so now as we start closing up that gap between the floor, we're just going to start tipping our pelvis off the ground. Now as you do this, there's often a natural response from our body, which is as we do this, our legs kind of come apart. We want to keep them the same distance, so hip width apart. The reason why our legs come apart is because we're kind of lazy. If we do this, we have to use less muscles. If our legs come apart, we kind of have to use less muscles. And our body is pretty efficient. So what we're looking to do is we actually need to use these inner thighs to keep those legs together. So this, even though it's not quite a hip bridge, you should be able to feel it working, fly, these inner parts of your legs. Okay, so we're going to start taking it up even further now. So peeling that vertebrae off the ground and back down again. So let's start peeling all the way up and all the way down. Great stuff. Let's go up and down. We don't want to take it up too high. As soon as we feel like we're getting to the point where our ribs start moving away from our hips as we take it up, that's when we know we've gone too far. So imagine if you've got your fingers kind of on the bottom of your ribs and on that hip bone, and you can feel them moving apart. So especially as you come down and you push that pelvis forward, your fingers are going to start to spread. And as soon as you take it back up, they're going to start to close up together, and then you take it too far and they start to move away. You just want to get the height you have, the sweet spot is where they're at the closest they can be, and before they start moving away from each other. Go. We've got 4, 3, squeeze those glutes, keep those knees in, 2, and let's take it all the way up here, and we're just going to pulse through those bum muscles. Good. So if you've done any other kind of exercise this week and you've worked those glute muscles, you should really be feeling it now. So keep those knees roughly in line with your hips. Don't let them come out to the sides. Good. Keep pulsing for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll all the way down. Let's roll all the way up. And we're just going to pulse one first and then the other. So tiny, tiny little movements. There's almost an imperceptible sway through the hips as you're pulsing with first one and then the other. What we're trying to do here is to try and work out whether one of our bum cheeks is carrying the other. So we're trying to reduce any kind of imbalance through the bum. This also means that we're really focusing on our bum muscles. So it can be easy to sort of compensate and use our leg muscles instead. And we've got 4, squeeze, squeeze, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way down. Let's take it all the way back up now. We're going to have our arms to ground us on the floor, and we're going to take one foot off the ground and then the other. Good. So we've got little marches. Apologies for that interruption. Taking his feet off the ground, one and then the other. So the trick here is to try and keep these hips as steady as you can. And it's not just keeping them steady when this foot is coming off the ground. It's actually, can you keep them steady during that handover? Oh, cat, get out of the way. When you swap them over. You know, at this point, when you're swapping things over, how steady are they? We've got 4, 3, let's keep that bum off the ground, 2, and 1. You're going to rock all the way back in. You might think we're done yet, but we are not. Let's come all the way back up, and from here, just going to squeeze those knees in together. These small little pulses. Let me show you how we're doing this. So as we come up, we're squeezing those knees in. So the knees aren't coming out wide at all. They're coming as wide as our hips are, and they're just squeezing in. Now, depending on your body shape, they might touch, they might not. That's not the point. The point is that we just want to feel these inner thigh muscles squeezing and working. As we pulse now for 6, 5, 4, let's get the bum up, 3, 2, and let's squeeze them together now, squeeze and hold, for 6, keep breathing, 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's roll all the way down. From here, let's take one knee in towards our chest And then the other, hug up nice and tight. Let's lift that tailbone off the ground. And we're going to roll round. Gentle circles. First one way. And then the other. Good stuff. From here, take the feet out. Down towards the ground. Just slightly widen out the hip width apart. Arms are going to come out to the side. We're going to start dropping that left hip down towards the ground. As soon as we can take it down no further, then the right one is going to come down towards the side as well. So from here, to increase that stretch, just look over the opposite shoulder. Good. And as you breathe out, you're going to take the head back to the center. You're going to take both knees up towards the ceiling. And we're going to drop down first the right knee and then the left knee. Take your gaze over that left shoulder. Good. As you breathe out, let's take one knee first of all in towards the center and then the other. So do you remember how before we were talking about that gap between the back? We want to have a think now, and we're going to do an exercise where I'd like you to be conscious of what's going on with your back against the floor. And with this exercise, we're working these deep core muscles here. And what we realized is that the more the back comes off, the less control it kind of seems to signify that we have over our core muscles. Some of you might never ever be able to get your back pressed against the floor just because of the way that your body is made, and that's fine. What we are looking to do is to have a lower core activation. So imagine we're gently drawing and activating through the lower stomach muscle, so just underneath your belly button. Helps if you also think about gathering in the pelvic floor. That can also help with the activation through here. And you should be able to breathe whilst keeping that lower belly activated. And by keeping that activated, you'll also notice that's what helps press you against the floor. And it will help you press against the floor more so than if you're artificially trying to tilt this pelvis up to try and press everything down. So from here, we're going to start by taking one foot off the ground. And this is the important bit. As you breathe out, you're going to think about keeping this lower part of your abdominals engaged. Let's switch over through the legs. Good. And as we breathe out, try and keep those lower abdominals engaged. Good work. Breathing in. And out. So, if you're lucky, you should be able to feel your lower back pressed in towards the floor. Have a bit of a glance as well, down if you can, towards your stomach muscles. We'll have a feel. Make sure that nothing is coming up into what I call a bread loaf, where the sort of stomach muscles pop up like this, or coming up into a dome or a cone, where they kind of come up into a point. So try and keep breathing as you do this. Take a deep breath in and breathe out, gathering through the pelvic floor as well. So you take that foot down. Deep breath in and down. Do one more with this leg. Deep breath in and down. From here, we're going to take first one foot off the ground. Think about keeping that core activated. You can have your hands pressed on the ground as well to give you some support. And the other one, again, have a think about what's going on with your belly here. If you feel that your belly is popping up or it's coming into a dome, you're not breathing. This exercise isn't quite ready for you, and we're just going to take it back to that one that we did before. But from here, as you breathe out, you're going to take that foot down towards the ground. As soon as you feel your back coming off the ground, or you feel like you're losing control here, all these stomach muscles are popping up, then you take it back up. Try and keep that back pressed against the ground as well. Breathe out, take it all the way down. And breathe in. Good. Breathe out, take it down towards the ground. And deep breath in. You might get your foot down towards the ground, you might not. It's not really about that. It's about how well you can keep activated through this area. So the slower you do this, the better. You might see exercise on Instagram where they're kind of like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm doing some toe taps. But all about slow, controlled movements, breathing out as you go. Good. One more on each side. Good. And the other side. Really nice. Let's take both feet back down towards the ground. And from here, let's take those knees in towards the chest. We're going to flip one foot up towards the ceiling, and then the other you're going to gather in the sole of the feet, and you're just going to pull those knees down in towards your armpits. Good. So imagine you're crouching on the ceiling. Good. So this should be a really nice stretch for your lower back. Give it any pain or any issue through the pelvic area. Then do just get it checked out with a women's health physio. It might be if you've had an episiotomy or some tearing from any vaginal tears, or any stitches from those tears, you might have a lot of scar tissue build up there that might need to be sorted. Okay, let's come over to the side. And grab some water because we're going to take it up and off the ground. If you can, try and get up and off the ground without using your hands. That is the ultimate in mum skills. Even more so if you can do that whilst holding a baby. Okay, let me move my mat back. Put on some music if you want. Why not? Let's make things really funky. Okay, so what's going on here? Let's get a little bit of a warm up in. Excuse me a second. Artie, what are you doing here, son? You can sit down here if you want to, yeah? But Mummy can't talk to you because Mummy's doing a class. No, not now. If you go down to Magoolie, she'll let you watch something on her phone. Oh, okay. We can go and put it back now. But I have to go on with my work now. Okay? Right, so from here we're going to keep the toes on the ground. Let me move this up a little bit. Excuse my little feral monkey in the background. He's just woken up from his afternoon nap. And we're going to march through the feet to keep the toes on the ground at all times. Going to try and keep the hips nice and still. The shoulders and the hips should be fairly level. Good. I'm just going to roll up through the feet, through the muscles of the feet. Good. So keep those toes on the ground. Let's just get the muscles of our feet moving. And from here, let's take the arms out in front of us. So we're going to drive them forwards. So there's essentially two things going on here. We've got the arms coming forwards, and we've got those feet pedaling as well. As we take these hands forward, we've got driving through the heel of your hand. Good. Pulling those fingers down and to the side. Good. So we're having a bit of a stretch. We're stretching through the fascia. Good. And now, because you guys are doing so well, we're going to go from the front and to the side. Front and to the side. So we're reaching out now. Different ways. Warming up these shoulders. Warming up the rest of our body. We're now going to go front, side, and above the head. Front, side, and above the head. Front, side, and above the head. One more time. Front, side, and above the head. The hands are coming into a cactus. And we're going to draw opposite shoulder to opposite knee. You're breathing out as you come down towards each other. So have a think again. If you have any discomfort, any pulling through the area that you've had a C-section scar, or if you've had any vaginal stitches. Okay, breathing out and up. You need to have nice control with this, but if I was going to shout stop at any time, you wouldn't lose your balance. 3, 2, and 1. Take the feet slightly wider than the hip width apart. Press through the outsides of the feet, and we're going to have a slight bend in the knees, and we're going to draw them in. So imagine we're twisting through these legs, two opposing forces. The arms are coming out nice and wide. We're going to relax those shoulders down and back, and just the top half of our body is going to move. We're taking it over to the right, so we're sliding all the way through, getting the upper part of our back
Mummy.
To move and warm up. Yes, darling.
You doesn't have any watching
And
video.
over to the other side. Good. Yes, we do, darling. Good. And now we're going to go from one side to the other. Good. One side to the other. Also think about making sure that pelvis is tucked under slightly. So squeeze through the glutes. Give yourself some extra stability. Really nice. From here, we're going to take it into a side bend. Just again on one side. Don't forget, keep the bottom half of your body really nice and still. Can you see that actually, from the belly button down, nothing is moving? Everything else is anchored. Good. And over to the other side. Really nice. Good work. And now from one side to the other. Good. Then the business is going to start in a minute. Good work. Before we start, feet slightly wider than hip width apart, imagine being punched in the stomach. You fall forwards, the knees push forward, you round through the back, chin comes down towards your chest. And you're going to start nice and slow, rolling those shoulders back as the last thing. Someone comes and punches you again. It's not your lucky day. Those knees come forward, you roll all the way back up again. One more time. All the way through. And all the way back up. Right, we are ready to get on with our warm-up. I am going to start the timer. So we're going to go straight into these. For those of you that haven't done this class before, especially not the circuit, I'll take you through a series of exercises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got 6 or 7 or so. We'll use the cans and we'll work on all the main things that you need to in order to be as strong as possible as a mum. We'll be able to get in 2 rounds. First round, I'll explain things a little bit more, and then the second round, we're going to whiz through. So, are you ready? You're going to grab your cans. I'm going to start nice and easy. A little dip. Oh my God. Can we turn down this volume? Otherwise that's going to drive us insane. There you go. So we're going to have a slight mini dip through these legs. Keep the arms in nice and tight. And we're just going to step back with that leg. So we're working on balance. We're working on glutes. We're tapping back with the foot and taking it back to the other one as well. Now with the arms, we've got the same arm as the foot that's moving. And we're going to start taking one forwards and the other one back. Now the trick here is to try and keep your body facing forwards. We're going to try to avoid any kind of twisting. Good. We've only got 10 more seconds of this one. Good. So you should really feel this in that standing leg. That standing leg should be enjoying the beginning of the burn. Good. And let's swap over to the other side. Get yourselves nice and anchored. Just start with that movement of tapping that foot backwards. And then when you're ready, let's get this other arm up and down. Really nice. Good. So we're working on our glute strength now. This is also good because we're working on balance. If you have issues with your hips for this one, then please do message me on the Warriors Live WhatsApp group. And myself or Neve will try and answer your question. Neve, for those of you who haven't met her, as a fabulous women's health physio. So as well, have a think about what's going on with that standing foot. You should really be able to feel it working through the muscles. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Let's take the right foot in front. The back leg comes down. As we come down into a static lunge, the arm's going to come up in front of us. And we come back up. We're going to do this is an increasing pyramid. So I'm going to come down for 1 and back up. We're going to come down for 1, 2, and up. Let's take it down now to 1, 2, 3, and up. Good. 4 pulses now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Take it back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. 1, 2, 3, and up. 1, 2, and up. 1, and up. Let's swap over. Left leg comes in front, right leg behind. Coming down now. You know the score. For 1, down for 2. 1, 2, and up. 1, 2, 3, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Let's try and get to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. 1, 2, 3, and up. 1, 2, and up. Come down and up. We're going to take the feet nice and wide. So if you've noticed any heaviness in the pelvic floor here, or you experience any leaking, let me know. And we're going to come down, take the arms out to the side and out to the front. So we're doing a plie. This isn't a squat. We're working these inner core muscles, coming down and taking those arms out to the front. So if you do notice any issues with the pelvic floor, then please do message myself or Neve, the Women's Health Physio, and we can give you some tips and advice on this. Good. So you kind of want to have your bum on the same level as your feet. Good. Stand up nice and tall. As we take the weights out in front, we'll also be working through your core. So focus on your breathing. We're now going to come down. Take the arms forwards and to the side and up. Coming down, forwards, side, and up. It's like we're flying. Coming out to the side, forward, down, and up. How are you feeling? Good? Forwards, sides, and up. Coming down, forwards, sides, and up. Good. Down to a squat. Keep good strength through those legs there. We've got 30 seconds left. Good. Almost halfway. So you should feel this now through those shoulders. Try and keep your posture up, nice and tall. Have those arms straight, but with some gentleness through the elbows. Really nice. Not much longer to go. Good work. Ballerinas here. Good. Take it all the way in and all the way up. Let's get these feet turned out slightly. You have a little gap between your heels that feels most comfy. Or the legs, think about squeezing these knees out to the side as much as you can. With our arms, we're going to strengthen up through that back now. As we come down, the arms are coming out. As we come back in, we're going to squeeze these shoulder blades together. Try not to hunch up through the shoulders. So coming down and up. Good. And up. Now you might not get much depth with this. Doesn't matter. Trying to keep the heels on the ground. Trying to keep our bum hovering over our heels as well. Squeeze those shoulders in as you come all the way down. Not much longer for this one. Good. You've got a few more exercises left. Let's get one more of these in. Good. And we're coming into our basic squats. So feet slightly wider than hip width apart, toes pointed out slightly. And we're going to come down and up. Take them into basic squats. If you can, come down nice and low, so the thighs are parallel to the ground, then do so. If you notice you experience any heaviness through the pelvic floor or any leaking, one thing you can do, take those feet slightly closer together, and or don't take it down so deep. So you could come into half squats. Hello, my little feral tired child. Good. We've got 15 seconds left. You're very good, darling. You can come and do some with me if you want. Good. You've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really useful exercise we're going to do. Have your hands whoever you want to, but we're going to drop one knee to the ground, then the other. Take that knee up, and then the other. So we've got get-ups. Coming down, down, up, and up. Down, down, up, and up. So use that back foot to help you get up. Down, down, up, and up. Push off through that back foot. Really important. And when you stand up, also try and come up tall, as opposed to sinking forwards, to use that transference of weight to help you up. So try and keep your movements nice and steady. Also have a think about which foot you're starting to move with first. So I'm moving down first with my left leg. So that's my lead leg, and I'm going to change that in the next round. Let's go. One more, coming up, back to the beginning. Let's get this circuit out. Slight bend through the legs, and we're going to take it back with the left. Don't forget about these arms. Really nice. We're working what's known as unilateral exercises. So we're working through the core, it works on our balance. Think about what's going on now with your standing foot. Try and keep your weight towards the edge of the foot. Good work. You're doing really well. You're doing well too, Artie. I love you, you've been very good. Good. So just keep tapping back. Good, darling? I know, darling, you will. I finish very soon. If you want Maguli can help you with something. And we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and straight over to the other side. Let's position the ankle leg down. Think about where the weight is. Try not to let your weight squish down through the inside of your foot. Good. Lengthen through the arms as you take them up in front of you and behind you. Really nice. Good work. You've got 30 seconds left. Focus on your breathing. Think about what's going on as well through this core. Breathe out as the arms come up. Really nice, opening up through the shoulders. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right foot forwards, left foot back. So you come down now into our lunge. We've got 1 and up. Let's go down for 1, 2 now, and up. Don't forget our pyramid lunges. 1, 2, 3, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now try and keep your back nice and straight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up. So do one more 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. 1, 2, 3, and up. 1, 2, and up. 1, and up. Let's swap over legs. Coming down now for our first one. Whoa, focus on your balance. Coming down and up into 1, 2, and up. 1, 2, 3, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Can you count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up. Hurrah, we get to go down. 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. 1, 2, 3, and up. 1, 2, and up. Down and up. Well done. Let's hit the feet out nice and wide. And as we come out, take the arms out. We're going to sink down into our plie. So we're going to come out now and in front. So we've got our deep plies coming out to the front and coming out to the side. Think about your posture. So think about what's going on around your core. Try and have some activation through those core muscles at the same time. Darling. Really nice. You've got 20 seconds left. Good. Focus on your breathing. How are your little ones? Are they crawling all over you? 3, 2, and 1. Guess what? We're going to join those all up. We're going to come down to the front, to the side, and up. Good. To the side, front, down, and up. I'm going to try not to hit you, darling, but you're in a very precarious position. Coming down, and to the front, and to the side, and you're doing well. Good. Guess what, darling? We're almost done. Good. These lovely ladies who are doing this session as well also have babies who are also probably clinging onto their legs, unless they've managed to get some time without. Good work. Again, if you notice any heaviness through the pelvic floor, any leaking as well, it's very common, but it's not necessarily normal. Please do get it checked out. Good work. So we're going to take those feet in now, a little bit closer together. Hello. You can see my little one between my feet. Squeezing those elbows in. As you come down into your plie, the knees go out. We're going to squeeze shoulder blades back in as we come back up. Good. I'm going to squish your head. Uh-oh. I think this is called the head cracker, the child's cracker. So do what you can if you do have crawling children around. Hopefully your little ones might not be as mobile, as destructive as mine, though he's been very good, I have to say. Got 2 more exercises left after this. Keep it up, keep it up. Coming down and up for 3, 2, and 1. We're going to go into squats. Do you want to come on my back for squats? Yeah? Come on then. On you get. If you've got a child, I would say stick to normal cans in the hands. Let's take it down into squats. This was a little bit unexpected. I wasn't planning on having a child with me. But there you go. So keep the weight through the backs of the heels. Good. Little koala bear. Good. Make sure if you do ever try anything like this, that you are safe and your little one is safe. I'm pretty sure he's going to asphyxiate me in a second. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you've got get-ups. Before I was coming up and down with my left foot, now I'm going to come up and down with my right. So coming down, down, up, up, down, down, up, I mean, I definitely don't recommend doing this with, I don't know how much he weighs, 20, 25 kilos. Let me know if you want to get down. Go on then, Danny, yeah. Good work, thank you. That was really helpful.
Finished?
Almost. Oh, that's suddenly so much easier. What a relief. You've got 20 more seconds. Coming up, down, down. Focus on your breathing. Keep it nice and steady. Good. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop everything down. Let's start by taking it into a cool down. We don't want to just stop. We want to have a little bit of time to get our breath back. So just start. Press through those toes. You go from side to side, rolling those shoulders back, rolling these shoulders forwards. Really good. From here, we've got a 1-minute balance just to finish with. Get the feet together. We're going to take both hands up above our head. And you're just going to close your eyes here. Timing you for a minute. And stand up nice and tall. Good. Focus on your breathing. Close the eyes. Just think about having a lot of grounding through those feet. Last 30 seconds, if you want to, you can take those heels off the ground. Make sure you've got a slight bend in your knees. Imagine focusing on something in front of you. You can focus on the ground beneath your feet and focus on your breathing. Last few breaths. And let's open up the eyes. Good work. Let's take the arm across our chest and we're gently going to pull it over, stretching through the muscle here. So imagine with this hand, you're moving it towards the side rather than pulling it back. Good. Relax the shoulder. And let's take it over to the other side. Hey, Tommy, I'm just about finished. Then I'm going to come and play with you.
No.
Good. So look nice and tall, look all the way across. Really good. Let's take a little bend over to one side. And let's take it all the way to the other side now. Through the hips, we're going to circle, circle, circle. First one way, and then the other. Coming down onto the ground, we've got one knee, one foot in front of the other, back knee on the ground. Tilt that pelvis under, and as you start coming forward, you should feel the stretch through the front of the thigh. Get the back up nice and tall. Keep the spine elongated and straight through the back. Let's shift the weight back over. Let's flip that toe up. And as we bend backwards, stretching through our bum, we should feel a nice stretch up through the back of the leg. Good. And let's swap over sides. Left foot's coming up in front of us. Got the knee on the ground. Let's tilt that pelvis under. And let's stretch forward, stretching through that upper thigh. Good, stretch all the way through. Good, let's transfer the weight onto the back. Let's flip that toe up. And as you lean down over it with a flat back, try not to round through the back. We're going to end up with a really nice stretch through that leg. Come back up to a standing position. You've got a windowsill, you've got a wall. Just going to place your hands on it. You're going to walk yourself out until you're roughly making an L shape. I want you to feel the stretch through those shoulder blades. You can also then take the weight in through to the lower back. And then also feel up through the back of the legs as well. Good. Stay here for as long as you need. And then when you're ready, you're going to come all the way up. Take your feet slightly wider than hip width apart. Take a deep breath in. And take a deep breath out. Deep breath in. And out. As you take a deep breath in, I just want you to breathe in and give thanks for everything that you have in your life. And as you breathe out, just get rid of any aches and pains and negativity. Last deep breath in, last deep breath out. And let's shake everything off. Shake through the legs. You've got a small child hanging on. Let's shake through the arms. Shake through the other arm. And let's shake it off through that leg. And you are done. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really good class. As Arthur has said, yes, I have finished. We have finished for today. Really good to have you guys along. Let me know if you do have any questions. And myself or Neve, who's on the Warriors Live WhatsApp group, will help you answer it. Can you say bye-bye? Bye, guys.